All right, let's talk about the Time and Status app for Jira. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and show you exactly how all those reports and numbers get crunched. The goal here is simple, to give you total confidence in the data you're using to make big decisions every single day.
You know how it is. You're looking at these charts, you're looking at these tables, and you just kind of trust them. But have you ever really stopped and thought, wait a minute, how did the system actually come up with that number? Well, that's what we're here to do. We're going to break down the simple, super transparent logic behind the metrics you and your team are counting on. So yeah, let's just dive right in.
Okay, first things first. Before we can even touch all the fancy reports, we have to get our heads around the absolute basics. How does this app actually measure time? Because, it's not always as straightforward as you'd think. So check this out. This table really gets to the heart of a super important point. In this app, a day doesn't automatically mean 24 hours. No, you can actually set it up to match your team's real workday. So let's say your business day is 8 hours long. Well, that means a regular 24-hour calendar day is actually 3 of your business days. Getting this little detail right is absolutely crucial for making sure your reports actually reflect your team's real-world effort.
Okay, this is a quick one, but it's super important because it trips a lot of people up. A 0 versus a dash. What's the difference? If you see a 0, it means something did happen. The issue hit that status, but it was so quick, like blink and you miss it quick, that it just rounded down to 0. Now, a dash, that means the issue never, ever touched that status. It's a tiny visual difference, I know, but it means two completely different things.
All right, so now we get how the app measures those little moments of time. So what's next? Let's zoom out and look at how it follows an issue's entire journey, tracking how long it hangs out in every single step of your workflow.
And here it is, the main event, the time and status report itself. The big thing to remember here is that it's all about accumulation. It's adding up every single second an issue spends in a status, even if it leaves and comes back 5 times. This gives you the total, complete picture of how much time you're really investing in each stage.
The easiest way to think about this, imagine every single status in your workflow has its own stopwatch. So an issue lands in backlog, boom, the backlog stopwatch starts ticking. Then it moves to development, the backlog watch pauses. Now if that issue gets sent back to the backlog later on, that stopwatch just picks up right where it left off. It never resets to 0. And that's how you get that awesome total accumulated time.
And once you have those totals, figuring out the average is a piece of cake. Seriously, the app just takes the total time spent in a status and divides it by how many issues went through it. That number, that average time, that's your baseline. That's the metric you're going to watch like a hawk to see if all those process changes you're making are actually, working.
Awesome. So we've totally nailed duration. But your workflow isn't just about how long something takes, right? It's also about how many times things happen and when they happen. So this next section is all about counting those key actions and dates.
And these reports, they give you a completely different perspective. Status count, that's how you spot those problem tickets that are just bouncing around like a pinball. That could be a huge red flag for quality. Transition count, ooh, this one's cool. It shows you the real path your work is taking, not just the happy path you drew on a whiteboard. And status entrance date is just what it sounds like. It gives you that concrete timestamp, which is absolutely perfect for things like SLAs.
Okay, let's switch gears a bit and get personal. Because time isn't just spent in a status, right? It's spent by a person. The app also lets you drill down and see how time is being spent on an individual level. This is where you really start to understand workloads.
So, the assignee time report. Well, it does exactly what it says on the tin. It adds up the total time an issue is assigned to a specific person. It's how you see who's working on what and for how long. It's perfect for making sure the work is spread out evenly, and you've got the right people on the right tasks. And check this out. This is a game changer for managers. Instead of having your report clogged up with a dozen different columns for each developer, you can just bundle them together. Create a user group, call it front-end team or QA squad or whatever, and you'll see the total time an issue spent with that whole group all in one neat column. For team-level reporting, it is just so powerful.
Okay, it's time to bring it all together. Let's talk about the big one, the sprint report. This is where all those little building blocks we've been talking about combine to give you this incredibly deep, comprehensive look at how your sprint actually went.
So the first thing you see is this really clear, high-level breakdown. This donut chart shows you the makeup of your sprint. Instantly, you can see what percentage was new features, what percentage was bug fixes, what was tasks. You get the idea. It's a snapshot of where your effort went.
Next up, we've got team velocity. All that really means is, how much stuff does your team get done in a sprint? This chart makes it super visual. It puts what you said you were going to do right next to what you actually got done. And that comparison, right there, is everything. It's how you understand how predictable your team is and how you can plan better for the future. And that whole comparison gets boiled down to one simple, powerful number: the completion rate. The math couldn't be easier. It's just what you completed divided by what you committed to. That's it. It's the ultimate gut check. It answers the question, did we do what we said we were going to do? And when that number is consistently high, you know you've got a healthy, predictable team.
But wait, there's more. The sprint report is absolutely packed. It breaks down the workload for each person, it tracks scope change so you can see exactly how much work got added or removed mid-sprint, and it even compares your committed versus completed work by priority. It's honestly a goldmine of information.
So as you can see, there's really no secret sauce or magic formula here. From tracking a single minute in one status all the way up to analyzing an entire sprint, every single number you see is built on simple, transparent, and logical rules.
And really, that's what this is all about. Once you understand the how behind your data, you can start asking way better questions, and more importantly, you can actually trust the answers you get. So I guess the only real question left for you is, now that you know how it all works, what are you going to go find in your data? Thanks for joining me.